constellation. So it's a great time to manifest things and at least, you know, put yourself out there in order to attract the things that you really want. Okay. So having said that, one of the first thing that I feel especially for those of you with children, okay? If you're working with younger kids, or if you're working with children, or if you have your own children or are babysitting other people's children, just a little word of warning, just be very careful, be very vigilant. I don't feel they're doing anything sneaky, but I feel like, especially with toddlers, I see them, you know, like getting their hands on things that they could swallow. And I feel like curiosity with the children where they get themselves into sticky situations and they're not supposed to be there. And I feel like you might, you know, so once again, be vigilant when you are in a capacity where you're supposed to be watching them. Just be a little bit extra careful, because I feel like you turn your back and then, you know, they get their hands on something and, you know, God forbid they swallow it or they ingest it or something like that. So just be very, very careful. I don't like to deliver bad news. I'm going to use these. But I do sense that it's something that's coming through very strongly, okay? What I'm also feeling is that good news surrounding children as well. So they're bringing you a lot of love, a lot of affection, and I feel like you're going to be really just very, very happy, you know, in terms of like getting good news, or in terms of them showering you with a lot of love and affection. So I definitely feel that energy coming through. What I'm also sensing here is something to do with a mother figure. So you can be male or female. This is having to do with a mother figure. Either your own mother, a mother-in-law, or somebody that is a mother that you are in really close proximity with, okay? I see some issues emerging for this month that has to deal with that situation. And I feel like there might be a little bit of a conflict of interest between you and the other person, okay? So that's coming through. Let me see what else is coming here. Travel. If you're planning a trip is supposed to happen for this month. I do feel a little bit of travel delay, a little bit of a holdup, which could be, you know, if you're traveling to see another person, there might be some delays at the airport. They might get the times mixed up. I don't feel it's like major, but okay, so I'm going to give you an extra card. They have an extra card that came out. I'm going to read it like this. So just keep that in mind, okay? And give me a second. I'm going to light the other candle here. It's off screen, but it helps me read. All right, so let me see if there's anything coming through. I definitely feel a lot of travel plans. It could just be, you know, your birthday time, so you're really living it up. And there's a little bit of what seems like a disposable, you know, having disposable income coming through. So your financial situation looks really good, and you might have disposable income to travel, to go with children. Be very vigilant with children, okay? You might even hire somebody to take care of your child, to babysit, so that you can go on this trip. It might even be a business-related trip, and there's some hold-up, okay? So let's go into your reading here, Libras. So first of all, we have here the Five of Cups and the King of Swords. So what I'm feeling here is this is the energy that you're bringing to the table, okay? The King of Swords is, you know, it's the epitome of the air sign. It's like kind of like the person who has matured in the suit of swords. They are very, very knowledgeable. They're very strategic. They're very high-minded, very philosophical. And I feel like this is kind of like learning from the past and coming to a situation now where we are very sure about where we stand. We're very sure, and we are like in a situation where we have collected ourselves, you know, like picking yourself up from your own bootstraps, or conquering your emotions by relying on your mind, okay? So you're coming in very strong-minded this month, and you're just very certain about where you stand with people and with specific situations. What I'm also feeling associated with this card here, with the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups indicates looking back at a past situation where I feel like you might have had a falling out with a person, or you might have like looked at how you conducted yourself in the past. And I feel for a lot of you, you're coming to the realization that, this old way of doing is not going to fly. So I'm going to become a better person. I'm going to reinvent myself. And I'm going to be victorious in my new endeavor. I'm going to make myself discipline my body through my mind to become a much stronger, wiser, just an older person, like a more mature version of yourself, okay? For others of you, I feel like whatever happened in the past, you might have been very, very, for some, not for all, but you might have been in a situation where you were overindulgent, okay? So there was a little bit of a lack of discipline. There was a little bit of like living life to the fullest and, possibly even missing homework, missing work, calling out sick because you were, dancing the night away and you couldn't, wake up on time for the next day. So I feel like whatever that has happened in your past, I feel there is some sense of like, I can't believe I did that, or I can't believe I thought that was appropriate. I can't believe that was, what I did. So there's a little bit of guilt, and I feel like a tinge of shame associated with your past conduct or somebody else's past conduct, okay? So it's a situation where it had to be left behind. That old way of doing is no longer appropriate. And as a result, you are maturing. You're doing things in a more directed manner. You're taking responsibility, taking ownership of your own life, and moving ahead with a stronger sense of purpose, okay? So whatever that has happened in the past, and I would say, possibly even the past 5 years, I feel like a lot of you are, in a position where you have to be, where a lot of responsibilities are imposed upon you, not in a bad way. So you have to mature, you have to grow up, because a lot of people are depending on you. And steep learning curves are perfect launching pads, right? So I feel like this is the month. I feel like maybe even means you're going to have to be extra disciplined in order to get the technical information, in order to absorb it, in order to apply it to real life problems. So I feel like you're going to have to be extra strategic, extra thoughtful, and extra like resilient in order to learn these life lessons, in order to learn these technical things, so that you can emerge victorious, okay? What's coming through as well? We have the Nine of Cups and the Chariot. Both of these are really, really good cards. I instinctively see that, somebody is coming to see you. It's just somebody that you are very, very happy with. Could be a friend or associate, even a love interest. Somebody is making some plans to come see you, and they might be traveling by land. The Chariot here is a travel card, and we have you in this situation where, you're very smug, you're waiting on somebody's arrival, okay? So that's the first message I'm getting out. You could also be planning a trip to go see somebody. I don't feel like it's a massive overseas trip. I feel like it's more local. It could be just a weekend getaway sometime this month with somebody that you really like. You might do some type of wine tasting. You might do something a little bit more extravagant, such as, staying at a really posh hotel, going to that a really posh restaurant. So I feel like something upscale, something extravagant associated with it, not in a bad way, because I feel like you know how to control yourself, and you're actually very good with budgeting. So I don't feel that being a problem. I did mention earlier, I do see some travel delays. I don't feel like it's major, but you're going to have a discussion with another person to either take a trip together, to you go to see them, they come to see you. You both can, I feel like they're meeting you and then you both travel somewhere else together. That's another possibility as well. And what I do sense as well is getting a new car, purchasing something new for your car's sound system, upgrading your car, trading in your car in order to get something brand new. So I definitely feel a lot of energy surrounding like either a vehicle or mode of transportation or transportation itself. Okay, it's going to make you feel quite good, and it's going to make you feel quite happy and quite secure. The Nine of Cups can also indicate a situation where we are overindulging. Be careful, and I say this for every sign during the birthday time, and it's, you know, never without fail. Be careful about drinking and driving. That's pretty much, you know, standard across the board, but it comes up for the sign during their birthday time. So I feel like you might be in a position where people are buying you a lot of drinks, and, you know, make sure you are the designated driver, or you're not the designated driver, that you can get a taxi or something like that. So these are just, you know, mundane things, but it is really important. It's life altering. So just keep that in mind. Okay. I do see a lot of forward progression and, you know, a lot of positive energy associated with the Chariot. It is a victory card, and it's basically overcoming a situation and being in a really sweet spot to get something that you highly desire. Okay, the corner office, for example, a bonus, promotion, even like getting, I feel like something like coworkers decorating your office even. So you're going to be in a really good place, and you're going to feel very, very welcomed and embraced and just really happy this month. I'm sensing a lot of you might have children, and you're redecorating their room or a nursery if you're expecting a child. Okay. The next thing that's coming through here, we do have a solid offer. So first of all, we have the Prince of Pentacles and then the King of Pentacles. For those of you who are looking for work, I feel there's strong possibility here of a new job that's coming through. You might even be headhunted for a job. Someone might just be like, here you go. Here's this job that I think would be a good fit for you. So that's coming through. And both of these are showing up in the same suit, which indicates to me an earth sign, a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. This is somebody that is going to give you, you know, an offer of love, of stability, or solid advice that is going to be able to increase your financial resources. If they are coming up in love, we're going to look at that situation in a little bit with your love reading. But I definitely feel a lot of financial abundance is coming through for you. Even getting a bonus, getting contracts, getting clients, and your portfolio growing. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I feel like you're breezing through it. And I feel one of the main thing that's coming through here is that your sense of diplomacy, you know, I feel like Libras have always been like the, you know, been labeled as being indecisive, but I definitely feel like your sense of timing for this month is going to be very good, and your sense of diplomacy is going to be very well regarded. And I think that's what's that's what allowing you to, you know, win over clients, win over their mind, their hearts, win over their checkbooks, so that they trust you to be in charge of their finances. So especially if you are a consultant, especially in finances, like a financial consultant, a broker, a real estate agent, anything related to money, exchanging money, money going through different hands, such as even an accountant, I definitely feel like you're going to gain a lot of traction. People are just coming to you because they trust your expertise. So whatever problem they come to you with, they're just like, here, I trust you, please make it go away. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of people, but they're not going to be micromanaging you. They're just giving you whatever it is that they need help with. And then I see you fixing it. So I see you doing a lot of damage control for other people in the professional front, where you're smoothing things over. For some reason, it might be the presidential debate, but I feel like for those of you who are writers, speech writers, who work in PR, who work in marketing, there might be some type of mishap, and then other people are like, here, help me do some damage control. That's what I feel. Okay, so they're relying on you for using your words to smooth over a situation, and I feel like your client base is going to be growing. Okay, people are coming to you because they trust your skills and your expertise. What I'm also feeling is if you are in a situation and you feel like you're underpaid, okay? The Prince of Pentacles usually comes out in a financial situation where you have a lot of skills, but the money that you're bringing home is a little bit lacking, which means, underpaid, underemployed, underutilized. I feel like this is a really good time for you to negotiate a pay raise. I feel like if you make your demands known, the other person is going to meet you halfway, okay? This can be a superior, this can be like a better offer. So, I feel like pay negotiations, tell them what you think you're worth, and I feel like they will match you, okay? They will match you where you feel you're worth, or they will meet you halfway. So I definitely feel this is a really good time for financial negotiations. Like I said, your sense of diplomacy is going to be highly rewarded this month. The last cluster that we have here is the Six of Swords as well as the Ace of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords indicates a situation that is all about a victory, okay? This is a lot of struggle that has to take place before you're able to have some type of a breakthrough in the manner that you'd hope. What I'm also sensing is there is a situation that you have to extract yourself from. You have to sever ties, and you have to once again, you feel almost as if this is not a healthy situation for you to be in. So you are slowly, mentally and emotionally and even physically, slowly detaching yourself. And you trust that, it's the right situation. Okay. So a lot of you might be leaving a job. I feel job related, might be leaving a job that where you were underpaid for a better job, a better option. You might be leaving a client because you want to invest your time in more clients or a better client. So I feel like a situation where you are sailing away from something to a smoother environment, okay? This is also the travel card. And the Six of Swords usually it's travel related. There's a lot of travel energy overall with the Chariot and now with the Six of Swords. So I do feel like, doing a little bit of a last minute check, especially if you are traveling like a cruise, or if you're traveling by land, be a little bit more careful with some type of last minute check. Make sure your car, I feel like I'm sensing some of you might be heading north, or I'm feeling like might be climbing a mountain. And I feel like it might be highly elevated. So, shift something about shifting gears. If you are just starting out, and you're driving, you're in a new car possibly, just test it out first, okay? And have the manual on ready, just so in case anything goes wrong, you can consult the manual. I do feel that coming through when it comes to travel, but this is more indicative of, sea travel, like traveling by boat. But I do see either way, there might be a little bit of snags along the road, so check your itinerary and, find other accommodations early on if you can by checking to see that there are no cancellations and things like that, okay? Now, in terms of your advice, we have the Princess of Pentacles. So this is the Page of Pentacles. There's definitely some good news coming through regarding finances, okay? And I feel like a lot of you might be coming from a situation where you are a freelance consultant and you are shifting towards working for a company. So the Hierophant indicates institution. It indicates family as well, but let me just talk about the financial situation. You might be freelancing in the past, and you might feel like, what, I might not be disciplined enough for this, so I need to go back to a bigger company where my work schedule is a little bit more structured, okay? I feel like, likewise, the energy can flow the other way, where I don't see a lot of self-employment here, but I definitely feel like you might be better off linking yourself up to a bigger institution, governmental institution, bigger companies, things that have been around a little bit longer. so that you can, have a little bit more stability, a little bit more of a consistent flow. And then you don't have to do your own marketing in order to get clients. They will market you for them, okay? So you are in pretty high demand, and especially shifting from self-employment to a 9 to 5 job. It's going to be a lot more stable. There's health benefits and things like that. All of these things, I feel like you're considering them, and it's going to bode well for you. What I'm also sensing as well is I do feel there might be family members, and going back to the initial message I said about the mother figure, there might be something in the family unit that you might have to iron out, okay? So if you have been estranged, especially from family members, and I'm seeing both mom and dad, even like siblings, if you have been estranged from them, I do feel that there's going to be room for reconciliation. The point here is that I feel like they're coming through, and there's going to be almost like them trying to reach out, okay? And I do sense that this was potentially a very hostile situation where you and the other person just talk over one another. There was a lot of conflict, but I feel like some type of offer coming through for friendship here with the Page of Cups, which means that, quash our differences and agree to disagree, because the fives always indicate conflict. And I feel like, in a way, it almost indicates to me like almost like a conflict on a very deep-rooted spiritual, religious, or even family values level. So these are like irreconcilable differences that you're just going to have to agree and disagree, and then decide if it's even worth moving forward. If you have like someone in your life that is challenging you to grow and to expand, and to, if they add value to your life, you don't have to agree with them, but if they add value to your life, you're learning a lot from them, then it's important to keep them around. But if the differences are so jarring to the point where you can't even have a conversation, this can be all kinds of relationship, even family members or even friends. I feel that it's not worth it to keep yourself stuck out of that sense of loyalty or obligation. It's important for you to conserve your mental health and your mental energy, okay? So I feel like someone might be dogmatic, and then the other person might be just a little bit more free-spirited. So either way, I feel like, incompatibility across the board, okay? So I feel like stay where you are. You are in a very, very good position. You know what you're about. You're able to defend yourself. And the thing is, if the other people refuse to see things, or they just don't see things from your point of view, agree to disagree. Don't escalate conflict. Just let things be, okay? Be the bigger person, and remove yourself from it, okay? So let's go into your love reading here, Libras. So love and relationship, 16. You've got some really good cards, Libra. Okay, so there are two main stories here. Let me just say this. I'm feeling like there are two main stories here. So for those of you who are single and dating, I feel like you're in a very good position. You're in a very, very good position, okay? So One of the things I'm sensing here is the overriding theme is we do have the justice card coming through, and the justice card indicates, this is basically your card. This is you showing up in your spread in a way where you're just like very balanced, very rational as well. You're balancing that emotions with the rationality, and you're in a good position now to see things very, very clearly, and to see people in a manner where it's true to their representation. So you're not starry-eyed, you're not cynical, you're just getting a right balance, okay? One of the things that come up here is I definitely see some divorce issues that are being finalized. And I see you, freeing yourself from a situation that has been restrictive, okay? I also feel like if you were dealing with somebody who really hurt you in the past, I definitely feel like you're overcoming it. You're moving ahead and you're moving on with new people. The other thing I'm sensing here is, especially for those who are single. So if you have been divorced, or if you consider yourself single, you're going to encounter somebody this month. With the Hierophant here, this also came out in the previous spread. So once again, the Hierophant indicates tradition. It indicates religious, philosophical, ideologies as well. Childhood upbringing, family expectations, all of these things that make a relationship either quote unquote conventional or unconventional. Okay, so I feel like in the past you might have done things very, very, very by the book. You might have believed that marriage is something that is here to stay. Once you get married, that's it. You don't divorce, because divorce is seen as a failure. Or like you try to work really, really hard at a situation until you know that you've exhausted all possibilities before you move on. And I feel like that was a situation that might have been very painful for a lot of you in the past. You worked at things, right? And you ended up basically emotionally depleted. And I feel like you, even when you were emotionally depleted, when you knew that the other person didn't reciprocate, it was still hard for you to let go. So I feel like right now you might be encountering people who are very, very different from you. And you're going to have to overcome this sense where, I'm going to, this sense where you're forcing things to stick. When people are too different and you're still forcing it, it might be detrimental. And I feel like you might come to the realization that, if we are so innately different, it's better off for me to be with someone else, or let them be with somebody else. So you're not dumping your energy excessively into the wrong people, into the wrong avenue, into the wrong relationship. It doesn't mean that the person is bad. They might be a great relationship partner on paper, but in terms of being able to work together on an everyday level, I feel that you're looking for a different type of person, or you're looking for somebody that will mesh well with you. And I feel like you're not going through the process of dating in such a serious manner where you date and you form a relationship and then that's it. I feel like you're branching out. You're keeping your options a little bit more open. You're also a little bit more open-minded as to the types of people that you're dating, and you're looking for more of the unorthodox type, because in the past the orthodox type, I feel like it wasn't exactly exciting for you, so you want something more. So let's talk about this situation holistically. So in the past position, we have the Three of Swords as well as the Sun. And what I'm feeling here is you were in a relationship with someone, and I feel like you were very, very heartbroken. You tried your best to stay in it. You try to be fair. You gave them the benefit of the doubt. You gave them multiple chances, multiple opportunities to make things right. And you were very fair-minded to the point where you rationalize the things that they did, okay? And I feel like you were with someone, and I don't feel like they're a bad person at all, but I feel like they were very much caught up in themselves, okay? I feel like somebody might be narcissistic. The Sun is generally a very, very good card, but this is also a very strong career card where somebody was like very career oriented, very self-focused, very ego driven. And I feel like they had trouble working with you as a unit. And I feel like some of you have dumped a lot of energy into that relationship, and the other person was more, you sustained the relationship while the other person worked on their career. And I feel like at the end of it, when the breakup happened, it might have even been a divorce. You realize that, you know, you put a lot of energy, their career is thriving, but you end up kind of empty-handed. You know, your love was gone, and also your career is not where it should be because you were working to boost up this person's career and their public image. Which brings us to the present moment. We have the King of Coins and the Star. So this is what I consider the Mr. Right card, okay? And the Star is wish fulfillment. So this is a really good combination. So especially for those of you who, I feel like you have this person already in mind, or this person's already in the picture at this present moment. So the King of Pentacles is a person that is like the one that hits all of those checklists, okay? If you want someone a certain height, a certain eye color, a certain hair color, a certain complexion, this is like the ideal type. This is somebody that cross your paths, that you are just like physically, emotionally, intellectually attracted to. Okay, so a lot of you might be dealing with an earth sign, a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. I do feel this is somebody who is very competent, very intelligent, very financially savvy, and I definitely feel there's a lot of attraction. I mean, this combination oozes a lot of physical attraction to me. So this is somebody that you really want to build something with, okay? You want to just like have a do-over with, or you want to just you want this relationship to work very, very badly. And I feel like they're very stable, but they're also very slow to act. So take it slow if it's new. I also feel like this is, you know, your ideal version. This is your ideal type. So you're already, if this is a new person and they're just coming in, I feel like they're going to meet all of your expectations. Okay, this is a really, really good combination together. So the foundation is something in your environment that allow this situation to be built upon. So this is what you know to be true. We have the Five of Coins and the Temperance card. So I feel like a lot of you overcame some heartache with the Three of Swords in the past. You are getting to this point where, you know, you start to see that I'm actually worth a lot more. And whatever self-imposed, you know, type of isolation that you've been feeling, if you haven't been financially stable and you were cooping yourself up in the house, trying to save money, if you have been in a situation where, you know, whoever that was that left you in the dark in the past, or really hurt you, I feel like it took you a long time to heal yourself. And at this point, you're healed up and you are getting a lot of visitors. You're getting a lot of like offers and love. And you're also like getting people who are trying to coax you out of your shell. Okay. So you have a lot of opportunities on the table for going out, for having a good time. And it's linked up here with the Temperance card, which basically means moderation. So try to balance out, you know, like which options you want to pursue, as well as if it's still a financial issue, then you definitely want to be moderate about how you spend your money. Okay, so if you're still dealing with like some financial issues and other people, a lot of people who want to date you, a lot of suitors are coming by, they're saying to do things in moderation so that emotionally you're stable and then financially as well you're stable. So this is a situation where that everything is built upon. So we still have some slight financial concerns. And I definitely feel like for those of you who are going through some type of divorce, if you're worried about, you know, financial assets, splitting assets with another person, I feel like you're going to be, your financial situation is going to pick up to the point where it's not going to affect your love life, okay? If, like, for example, you feel like, I don't make enough money, I don't know if this other person likes me. I feel like they don't really care about money. They're very financially savvy themselves. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Okay. So if you have that lingering thought, like, you like somebody, you don't know if you could pursue them because they seem like they're very well off for whatever reason. I feel that it would be, I feel like they're not materialistic, and I feel like they could care less. So if you want to reach out, do so. I do believe that that sense of self worth and self lack, it's basically very it's more like, negative thoughts on your end, because I feel like the other person doesn't really care because they're capable of taking care of themselves and you, so they don't really care. Okay. What's crowning this reading, and crowning energy is basically what you're thinking about. I feel like a lot of you might be in a situation where you're waiting for one relationship to end so that you can move on with another. So that means, waiting for that marriage situation to disband, with breaking up legal contracts here with the Justice card, so that you can be the bachelor or the bachelorette and you can pursue this person. Others of you have met the Mr. Right, and you're already thinking about, building a future together. So there's a lot of wishful thinking. There's a lot of like jumping the gun. I feel like the energy is really good, but you want to slow down a little bit. You want to be a little bit more practical. So moderation, slowing down, okay, is going to be very, very important. I feel like a lot of you might have be dreaming about somebody, or you have somebody in your midst that you are marginally, like, romantically involved with, and you might be waiting for your divorce to finalize before you take things to the next level with them. And they might be an earth sign: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Or you might have just met them recently, and they like exceed your expectations, so you're already like dreaming about the wedding bells. There's nothing wrong with that. Just be very careful. Okay. I also feel like this person might be really out of your type, outside of your type as well. So I feel like religious issues, like religious factors, they might be a certain way, religious, persuasion, you might be a different way. I feel political affiliation as well, and I know it's the presidential speeches, or the presidential debate is happening today, so I might be influenced by that. But I do feel some religious, political, family factors that are affecting the relationship, so there's going to be some discussions had about that. I honestly feel like a lot of you have met somebody that you're really happy with, and you're thinking about eloping as well. Okay. Be practical and be slow and methodical. Okay. So what's coming through here in your future position? And this is a very, very good card. We have Judgment as well as the World. The Judgment card indicates very, very positive communication of love and romance. Okay. In this deck, it also indicates a situation where, if you, there's going to be like a lot of exchange of information, communication between you and another person, and there isn't a stall energy. So if you're texting somebody, they text you back right away. They don't wait like 5-6 hours and give you cause for concern. And likewise, I do feel a lot of reciprocity, where you're meeting somebody who's willing to meet you halfway. They put in a lot of the work, and they're making themselves available to you in a way that is really meaningful. And especially if you have been, in the past, just, heartbroken, possibly by a fire sign, a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Leo comes up very strongly. If you have been in a relationship with a fire sign, and you find yourselves like very heartbroken, it's not a bad person, but I just feel like it was a little bit one-sided, okay, where somebody cared about their career a lot, or they were working a lot, and that got in the way of the relationship. And I feel like you ended up like kind of empty. I feel like you're meeting somebody that is restoring your faith in relationships, in marriage, in in humanity again is what I'm sensing. And as a result of it, I feel like it's very apparent in the way that the communication flows between the two of you. There's a lot of reciprocity. They text you, no matter how busy you are, you always text them back. You text them, no matter how busy they are, they always text you back. And that is the ultimate indicator of when someone, you know, puts us first, when someone prioritizes you, and they give you the time of day, and you know, they show it through the way that they spend their time with you. So I feel like they're giving you undivided attention. They're also giving you like the luxury of their time, and I feel like that means a lot to you, because in the past, I feel like a lot of you were just working, almost like the relationship itself. It was like you working at the relationship, giving it your all, and the other person was like caught up with their, you know, career. I just feel like, you know, there's still a lot of love with that past relationship. It might have been just timing. It might have been just finances. So for example, you could have been like very established with your career. You got married to somebody who was trying to get through school, for example, you know, either doing higher education. So you were the sole breadwinner, and they were going through you know, their medical school, or they were going through graduate school, working on their dissertation. You know, and they were really stressed out with exams, and I feel like that relationship might have fallen apart, mainly because it was a challenge trying to juggle the demands of the real world. So I don't feel like they were a bad person. It's just, you know, the timing was off. And I feel like you might be separating from this person either through separation or through divorce, and you are demanding it mainly because you found somebody that is reciprocating, okay? What's also coming through with the Judgment card here and is the World card. And the World card, I feel it indicates travel in this spread. You might be getting news, very swift news, and request from another person to travel with them. Or you know, like they might ask you to come travel with them. They might travel to see you, like I mentioned earlier. But I feel like this relationship here that you've got is a very, very expansive relationship. It's very, I feel like there's so much reciprocity here. And financially, you boost each other's income. So I don't believe that people can be blockages in, you know, in our lives, but I feel that the energy that they bring can also hurt or hinder our ability to generate new things, to find blessings in our own lives. I feel like this relationship is very expansive. It's good for you intellectually, it's good for you philosophically. So I feel like you're with somebody that really will add a lot of value to your life and will help contribute to your overall growth as a human being and to expand your human potential, okay? There's a lot of reciprocity. There's a lot of, I just feel like really meaningful conversations and meaningful interaction. What I'm also feeling is that don't play hard to get, because I feel like you've been really hurt before, and your heart, you know, your heart is in this little capsule. You're guarding your heart, and just be very careful about taking too long to respond. Okay, so reciprocate, meet them halfway, because you've got a really good thing going. For those in established relationships, I feel like your partner is going to go above and beyond to surprise you this month, okay? I feel like some very, very strong outpouring of love and relationships in for people who are in established relationships or who are married, okay? There's a lot of reciprocity, there's a lot of good communication and positivity for this month. I'm really happy to see this for you, Libras. Now, if you'd like a private reading, please contact me at temperatestar@gmail.com, or you can visit my website where you can book. Have a donation link. If you choose to use the link, I would appreciate it very much. And thank you for watching my video. I wish you the best birthday, and don't drink and drive. Take care of yourself, all right? Bye-bye.